Hey everybody, welcome to the Saturday live stream. I have Rye here. He has a channel. I think he mainly focuses on Canadian companies on his channel, but I know I have a lot of Canadian viewers. And he does live streams every day. He also makes videos. And actually, Rye, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? You probably can explain it better.
Sure. Yeah, no, sure. So my channel, like you said, started more Canadian based, obviously, because I am Canadian. I live in Calgary, just visiting Ottawa for a few weeks while parents are on vacation. But so the videos tend to be more Canadian based, or at least in the past. I know that for me, I'm switching it up a little bit right now. Like with respect to the live streams every day, it's American, it's Canadian, it's whatever's going on in the market, right?
Right.
But as for the videos, I'm starting to get a little bit more into the American side of things, just because the Canadian market is so dang boring. But yeah, so it started that way. But moving and shaking, growing every day.
Nice. Yeah, and if you want, he's a good talker. I don't know if that's, but he explains things really well. So
I try.
so if you go to his live stream, he kind of like you could learn a lot. You could learn a lot from me too, but I think he has a good way of connecting with people.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. It's funny though, like for me, and just so in case people are wondering what the differences are between, say, my channel and your channel, this is what I perceive to be the differences. But I go to Scott's channel just because my channel, I am an amateur investor. I'm not pretending to be anything else than that. It started as amateur people with $100, literally trying to change our lives. So I've just been spending the last year growing. I go to Scott's channel to actually learn and kind of advance my knowledge on that level. And then my channel tends to be more just commentary, like commentary based. Obviously, the stock videos are different, but the live streams almost entirely just commentary, obviously with myself and then the crew as well.
That's awesome. What's in your portfolio, if you're comfortable telling us?
Yeah, no, it's fine. So with respect to the actual individuals, I don't go over the individual holdings in my portfolio, but I would say that I foolishly started this journey about a year and a half ago, and fell into every single trap known to man. Like unit biased, I would fall into. It led me down a rabbit hole where I'd be picking bad stocks based on share price, and that's almost it, right? So the unit bias really killed me. But now it tends to be, and I've been working to get this better, but right now it's about 37% high. I call them high risk, high reward, but like essentially penny stocks, anywhere from the pennies to $5. So small caps, basically, I'd say 35, 37%. I would like to get that down, obviously, by increasing my blue chip holdings to about 15 to 20%. But it's an active process right now. I just dollar cost average into the market. I will say, though, right now I'm not buying as much as I was in the past, just based on market conditions, but I'm still DCAing into more blue chips, definitely.
Yeah, that's generally what I go for. Generally above 100 billion market cap.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard to 10x on a 100 billion market cap company.
Yeah.
It's happened. When I remember when Apple was $1 trillion, I'm like, what's the upside? And then it was my biggest percent gainer. So yeah. But I think when liquidity is tight, and I'm not saying it is, but I could see markets freezing up a little bit, especially if the market keeps coming down and and the rates go up. The smaller companies are going to have a harder time getting money. And I know
you're noticing that right off the bat. Like for anyone in here who does have penny stocks, for instance, and I'm not going to judge anyone who's focused on penny stocks. You do you. I know for me, I'm trying to get it smaller on my end of things, but I know that on my end of things, on the Canadian market, we're watching volume dry up like crazy for these small caps. Absolutely dry up.
Oh yeah, they get crushed.
Yeah,
I mean everything goes down in the bear market pretty much. Even great companies go down, but you're not going to see you're not going to see a Facebook go bankrupt. I mean, you might see it go down 30, 40, 50%. They're struggling, but even a Google possibly in a bear market, but those companies are going to make it through. But these small caps, they a lot of them got to get wiped out. But yeah, it's a rough market. There's a lot of fear. So what I usually do this raffle where I do a randomizer. You might have seen this.
Yeah, I saw this a few times. I noticed you're putting in some for the $20 Amazon gift card. That's awesome.
Investing education. I'm thinking maybe it'd be a way to get more people to come to the stream. And
well, I'll tell you what I used to do on my channel, dude, and it worked very well for me. But the way I looked at it was, I'm obviously, and you too, I mean, everyone knows if we have a YouTube channel, there is money to be made. So the way that I looked at it was, if I'm making money, if I'm growing, then the right thing for me to do would be to give back to the people who helped me grow, kind of thing. And I think you're doing a smart thing. Like on my channel alone, I'm at, I think, $5,200 in prizes to my channel members so far. So, or channel viewers so far. So it's, I mean, it's a good way to drive engagement for sure. Plus, I mean, a lot of these people too, I mean, they're the ones who are building this community up with you too, right? So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I ran a business for 10 years recently, but if I'm making money and somebody's helping me out, I mean, it only makes sense to reward people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this too. So if you want to support the channel, just watch. You don't have to pay anything. Of course, it's nice if you do, but you don't have to. Just watch videos.
Yeah.
Watch this video. It's my connecting the financial statements. This is the YouTube. I want to get this to 100,000 views, although, because I really think this is a valuable video, which a lot of people can benefit from if they understood how the financials work. And I think this video does a good job of explaining it.
At the end of the live stream, you should throw that link in the chat so it's there for the replays.
Yeah, I've been putting on the top of every comment section and pinning it on every single video I've been doing. I'm pinning it with that video. Nice. But did anybody watch the series Connecting the Financial Statements 1, 2, 3, 4? I'm sure some people did. I think it's really beneficial, and I kind of made it up, just a company. Of course, it's not a real company, but it takes you through the steps of what happens when transactions occur, like what financials get hit and how to look at them at the end. Especially on my channel, I always go through the income statement and statement of cash flows to see how the company did. And I just did a video. It was this D system, 3D Systems. They had like a $300 million gain in 2021 net profit. But the only reason they had a gain was they sold one of their subsidiaries for $400 million. So they had a net profit, but they actually had negative operating cash flow. That's why just focusing on operating cash flow gives you a lot more information than just net income.
Yeah.
But if you watch my videos, I'm sure you.
Yeah, I do. I catch whenever I can. I mean, no, obviously not every single video, but I do catch, and I like your live streams too. There's a few interesting people you've had on too.
Okay, I'm gonna. Talk about something interesting.
Okay, while you're rocking and rolling with this. Well, funny enough, I'm just actually reading some of your comments here. Hi there, guys. TV, Palantir, economic suicide. Lots of news with Palantir getting absolutely frigging devastated. Kathy Wood sold off like an absolute savage. Funny how she went from darling to absolute poison in a matter of no time, it seems like. But Palantir definitely not doing what everyone wanted them to do.
No,
I was just reading that
I did a
comment.
video just recently. I released it February 9th. And Palantir was trading at 13 and I had them at 10 and I got a lot of negative comments. I sold it a little before, like a couple of weeks ago, but I just see it going down. I mean, maybe I think maybe if you hold it 5 years, but it just seems like
I'm not into it. To be honest, I can, like, for me, every single I call them YouTube stocks, and it might sound kind of weird because we're on YouTube, but every time the bigger YouTube channels with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million subscribers end up spending 6 months pumping a single stock kind of thing, always freaks me out. I'm not going to mention names of these big YouTubers, but you guys, I know, and I'm reading some of the comments, you guys know who some of them are, but always freaks me out. Palantir was one of them, and I made a bunch of money shorting Palantir, and I got absolutely destroyed by my community for it. But I mean, I don't believe in it. To me, it was a YouTube stock, so it was a pump and a dump to me. Anything with that amount of volume, and I mean, if you go to like Alexa, for instance, or even just track their just track overall volume, overall interest, options interest, to me, it was a friggin' no-brainer. But again, you saw that this was going to go down. To me, I don't know, whatever. I made a very happy decision with the day I shorted that bad boy, and I'm out now, but happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had two of my predictions came true this week. December in 2020, I did Shopify when it was 1,200, and I said 722.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then it actually came below that. It hit 722 at one point, but it fell below that.
What a fall from grace with that company, dude.
And with Roku too.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny reading the comments.
Are you a fan of Roku?
No.
Okay.
Same thing with Roku. I had them going down 50%.
That company, to me, I don't understand it. It angers me. If you watch my live streams, you'll know how much that company bothers me.
Yeah, I had it when it was 232. It was just a few months ago, and I had it at 135. And then I think it's below 135, 112. Nice. I love reading the comments, like, not that. Did he delete the comment? No, it's not. Oh, did the guy delete that comment?
What, was he hassling you?
He was saying, you know, like, I don't know what I'm talking about. There's no way. He must have deleted it because
Well, good for him because he.
Oh no, here it is. Here it is.
Okay.
This video was really poor, in my opinion. Everyone, including the person who made this video, would buy Roku if it dropped to 130. It would never get that low. I'd be willing to make gigantic bet and call that bullshit.
Ha! Oh, you gotta love the comment geniuses that peak up with every single video, eh? Classic.
Put your money where your mouth is. I never I just say there's more investing than my valuations, but I don't really ever kind of try to defend it.
I love the comment at the bottom. The one right at the bottom. That didn't age well.
Yeah, right. His comment.
Classic.
I just want somebody to come back and say, you know, you're right. Not that, like, I could have been wrong, but at least once, just to at least, because if I'm wrong, I would never cut people down and say you're an idiot. I would just say, I think it's this way, and then if I'm wrong, I'm saying, you know, you're right. You know, I didn't.
Well, you know what I've realized about YouTube, man? People don't even remember the wins, but they'll remember something that goes against them or a loss till the end of freaking time. So there's nothing you can do to get over some of these people, but it is what it is. It would be nice though if one of them every now and again would actually come back. I'd love to know if that cat bought the dip. Highly doubt it, but it'd be interesting. Yeah.
And then people like, why don't you short the stock if you're so sure? I tell them I'm not sure. I don't have a crystal ball. Of course, if I really knew for a fact, of course I would bet on. But I don't have infinite amount of money either. I can't bet on every single position. Yeah. That's a nice thing about investing. You don't have to win on all of them. You just have to win on at least one or two that you're really confident with. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the one I'm confident with was down 35%. Facebook.
You know what, dude? Everything's down 35% or more in this freaking market. Look at PayPal, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? Like, look at these big boys that are. Yeah, like they're. I mean, even the big guys are falling off of a frigging cliff. November 19th was my last really great day. Like, and I mean really great day. I remember it. And then every day since November 19th has just been okay, I'm a bag holder, I guess. And I'm just going to be sitting this one till the end of 2022. But it is what it is. But the crazy thing is, too, tech has been beaten with an ugly stick. Like, when you have tech companies going down as much as some penny stocks, you're like, okay, the volatility doesn't make sense. Or when you start seeing a Snapchat, up 60% in a pump, down 28% the next day, it's like, okay, nothing. I don't know what's going on anymore. The volatility swings. I mean, again, as an amateur investor, I'm just trying to piece together what I'm learning, what I already know. I tend to be more qualitative in my research than quantitative. And I just don't know. I mean, the retail traders are obviously getting their asses handed to them. And I hate saying it, but in my opinion, I'd love to see all of the retail traders, or all of them but us, okay, but most of them bleed out and just leave because they're stock tourists anyway. But it's, who knows, man. It's tough. And I know those opinions irk people the wrong way sometimes, but I would like to see more retail traders shaken out big time.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. That's how bear markets work. But most investors, the way they invest is they look at a stock, like for instance Peloton. They'd say it was 150, well over 100 at one point. Now it's 30, so it's a good value because it was 100. Now it's 30, so therefore it could get back up there. But we know, right? Or at least hopefully we know, is that it should have never been this high in the first place. The only reason was just pure speculation, and people were buying their product more, but they don't have a great product, and it's not a business.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reopening is like the global reopening is going to be hitting stocks like it already has, obviously, though, like Palantir. How many stocks went up for no damn reason the second? I mean, well, it's just a reshuffle. It's a recycle. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, but it's fine to take losses, and it's fine to sell at a loss too. But like, at least I have good confidence in a company like Facebook. If I'm down 30% in Facebook, I know they generate a lot of money, like an unbelievable amount of cash flow, and they have half the world is on that platform. So I'm pretty confident it's going to come back up. But if you invest in a company, there's lots of companies out there that should have never been the price they were. Maybe even PayPal too. I don't think it should have been that high. I think that's just my opinion on PayPal. But that's all you can go on, your conviction, right? Nobody can predict the future, but just don't just invest in something. And people all the time, like, I remember this one guy, it was on UCO. He's like, did I do a reverse split? UCO? I guess they've been coming up, but he's like, at one point they were 500 or they were 1,000, and now they're at like, well, it was like 50 when he wrote that comment, but but you have to understand, like, The only reason a lot of these stocks were that high is because of the reverse stock split. People don't even understand that.
Yeah. Very true.
No, it was tops. It was tops. That's why the numbers weren't. Are you familiar with these companies? Like, these are kind of like not the most popular.
Not
American
Tops.
stocks.
No, I have never heard of Tops.
This is the one. It's like trading at $1. That's what I was doing, and he was like it traded at 300 million at one point. Because I do so many reverse stock splits, it just doesn't even make sense looking at the chart.
No, that one I have not. I am so like I said, I'm avoiding almost anything that's not mega cap now at this point.
Yeah, I think that's really the safest bet.
And I mean, I've always hated the idea of index investing because I'm just so bored when I do it. And then I've started to realize that boredom is a really great thing financially sometimes. And yeah, getting into the Qs a little bit more myself, but just trying to stay away from anything speculative as hell. Like, I mean, Canada's got its own options for this, but I mean, geez, one of my biggest mistakes was, and this is a classic mistake, and a lot of Canadians made this mistake just because of it being legalized here. But when Joe Biden won the presidency in the United States, a lot of Canadians made a lot of really big, dumb bets on cannabis, only to have it completely kiboshed and avoided in the States there. So, I mean, you've had some of the biggest companies in Canada turn into penny stocks. So I'm trying to avoid speculation like crazy.
Yeah, it's really gambling. Unless, like, there are some people, there's not many, but there's some people who can really pick apart those financials and understand, like, the companies that have a future. Unless you have that really specialized skill, it's gambling a penny stock.
Yeah, totally.
And if you get lucky, of course, if millions of people invest in all these stocks, there's going to be some people who are going to make money and get lucky.
Some people.
American Eagle. I'm working on this video, Lumen Technologies. This is another example. Like, it's look at this PE, a 5 PE. And this is not a company that's struggling. This is a company that's been around for like half a century. They're generating $6 to $7 billion of operating cash flow a year. They pay a 10% dividend. It's like,
wow.
But it's such a value trap because they have declining revenues, and that's why no one's investing in them, even though they're still. Because you have to understand, if you take a company that declines 10% revenue a year, that may still be several $billion of cash flow every year, even while it's declining. And you can have companies that have never generated any positive cash flow. What would you rather, if you were just the owner of a business, forget about investing, if you owned a business, what would you rather have, a business that's declining 10%? I mean, you could work with almost $4 billion some years. You can easily work with that.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it is declining the revenue.
Yeah,
these are tough investments because you may hit it big, but it's kind of it's a risk.
This is why I follow your channel, by the way. This is the stuff that I love to listen to. Again, I'm more focused on the Canadian stuff, but when I get into the American stuff, boom, I'm right here. That's interesting, though.
Yeah, somebody said it. They're the old CenturyLink. Exactly. They were like doing this, selling the old type of telephone wires, the copper-based internet connection, the stuff we've been using since the 1800s. And we still use them now, but we're kind of moving away to more fiber technology. So they're trying to escape that negative perception where they're an old company that's dying. But they're still declining. So
Yeah.
what does that tell you? But they did acquire L3 in 2016. But I guess they're just not growing it as much as they're declining on their. That's why it's easy just to look at the financials. I'll get a lot more information than trying to speculate. But yeah, so what stocks do you usually cover on your channel?
I started with, like I said, a lot's changed as I learn and as the market progresses and the cycle continues. But it was a lot of stuff that I'm not proud of now because of them being more mid and small cap. And now, if I'm going to be making videos, it tends to be more on institutional players or larger caps, but it tends to be more the news and the players of the day, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Just thinking about some of the companies that I like. I mean, my big issue though too is with some of the large caps. I can make a video on companies like, for instance, whether people like it or not, I like Disney. But I mean, if I make a video on Disney, there's almost nothing I can add to what people almost already know. It's not like
Right.
It's tough, I find, with smaller cap companies, I can actually teach somebody something. But with larger caps, I mean, what do I need to tell someone about Disney? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to find that balancing act here. Scott, for some reason, my charger isn't working on the computer. Give me about 30 seconds and I'll be right back with another one. I'll plug this in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back, buddy.
Oil. I did it. Did you guys see? I did a video on Facebook today. I did a video on Intel yesterday. What's up, Jordan? I've been doing my thumbnails. Let me know what you think. I used to pay somebody $10 or $15 to do my thumbnails. Now I'm doing them. Let me know. I think I like them better the way I do them. I don't know if you could see the screen here. It's more kind of just the last like 6-7 videos. Let me know what you think of the thumbnails, if I should keep it. I think it's more easy to see. Then it's less busy. I did this too. It's more basic, my thumbnails. The older ones have a lot going on. I actually did that too. But like the Roblox somebody did, and I mean, they look more professional, but gold, yeah, gold's been moving a lot. And that's what happens. When the market goes down, people look for safer havens, so they go to gold. But sometimes the market goes down and gold goes down, so I don't even know what the purpose of it is. But yeah, how is gold? Yeah, I keep seeing it going up, or at least gold stocks. I don't really track gold, but I've been seeing all the gold stocks have been doing well.
People love to hate gold, but I can tell you right now that since all of this BS in the market, man, my gold stocks have been bringing me back a lot of money. People love it or hate it, but I've been making I'm only playing it as a hedge, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of loving it, to be honest.
Right when the market crashed, I put a lot into silver and a lot into gold.
Nice.
And I held them for a year because for tax purposes. And I was up over 100% at one point with silver. I ended up being like up 80%, and I was up like 50% with gold at one point. I ended up being up 20% after I sold, but I was happy with that.
Profit's profit, man.
Yeah, especially the silver. I mean,
dude, silver's my favorite. I don't own any silver miners or anything like that, but I actually own quite a bit of physical silver itself. And I'm never going to get rid of it. I love holding my silver. I love it.
Wow, physical. Do you have it in a safety deposit box or for
I
the?
don't, not at the moment. If I keep accumulating more and more and more, maybe.
Do you
It would
have it,
be
or do you have somebody hold it like a company?
no, I physically hold it
You
myself.
actually have it. That's
Yeah.
good. I
If I ever
mean,
get robbed, I'm screwed, but,
yeah,
for
but
now, at least, I hold it myself.
yeah, this video, part 4, connecting. Um, Vonage. Oh, Vonage. Yeah, well, that's been going up. Wow, the past. Why did it go up so much
What's this
recently?
company do? What's their story?
Uh, a telecommunications
Oh,
company.
yeah. Me being a Canadian, guys, sorry if I'm not, getting some of these household names that you guys maybe or maybe recognize, but someone's saying, "Show the silver." I'm in Ottawa on a crappy vacation in the middle of winter. I cannot show you my silver. My silver is at home in Calgary. But thank you for the question, Matt.
I actually have a $500 bill. You don't see that too often.
Nice.
I bought it. I was all excited to buy it. Now I'm like, what do I do with it? I mean, what is it doing for me? Like, I have it. I'm keeping it, but it doesn't really. It's
It's
not like
depleting
it's
with
not going to
inflation.
appreciate like
Yeah,
uh like silver will.
yeah.
It's more of a collectible. Um, there is value there. It's actually worth like $1,000
Oh, nice. In
if I
Canada,
sold
we
it.
actually used to have $1,000 bills, and
Yeah,
they
me
ended up
too.
they ended up discontinuing them because of the amount of people who were filing claims because their bills would get destroyed. And yeah, back in the day, I remember the $1,000 bills, but it would almost. I remember seeing them and thinking, "Oh wow, one piece of paper, $1,000." And back then, it was $1,000 was actually worth something. So it's interesting, collectible though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In America, $500 bills are still accepted. Like you go to a bank with a $500 bill, that's still real currency. But they had 1,000, 10,000, 50,000. They even had 100,000. But that was just, but regular people couldn't have access to it. It was only like the government, I think. So yeah, we could do another raffle.
Did we get a winner? Who was the winner?
Investing education. He did
Okay.
a live stream with me once.
Someone's asking me what chair I use. This isn't my house. So I would have to go ask my parents. Again, guys, I'm visiting parents here. So I'm not in my regular studio. I'm not in my home. I don't know what chair this is, but it's very comfortable for whoever asked that question.
Your chair? I didn't even notice.
Me neither. It's a chair.
So dot. That doesn't count because I blocked it out while I'm changing. Yeah, you're here. I'm Taylor. You were on it from earlier. 22. Oh, so dot. 19. Nexi. Somebody said, "What do we do for a living?" I worked on Wall Street in Manhattan for 13 years after college. I was in like the bond market, like a bond trader, like subprime mortgage bonds. If anybody saw the movie The Big Short, that's exactly what I did.
Nice.
It was really cool watching it on the screen. And then I bought a franchise. It was tutoring kids in Mathnasium. They're all over the
Okay.
country, in Canada
Yeah.
too. I did that for 10 years. I actually sold it 3 months ago because I was getting burnt out. It's like I have a hard time. Somebody wrote a comment once, if you love doing something, if there's something you love, then do it for a living. You'll eventually hate it.
Yeah, it's very true, man.
and I didn't hate it, but I just like you need change. Um you need to like learn something new or build something new.
Mhm.
Um do
And I was a national sales trainer for Stellantis up until major lockdowns a little while ago. So that's all I did was just I was a Western Canada sales trainer, yada yada yada. But that's all I did. A little bit boring. I loved the job actually, but um, the well, I mean, there's things you love, things you hate about it. You just nailed it. You hit the nail on the head. You do something long enough that you love, it becomes a little annoying.
Yeah, that's just how it is. But yeah, I kind of some days I miss it, but I don't. I think I'm gonna take the year off. Hey Ben, what's up? Ben actually was a student of mine and worked for me.
Nice.
But I actually have another business, but I'm not active in the business. It's another kid's business. Uh, but I may start getting more involved in that. So what Apple 27x earnings? How's that come to? I haven't really looked at that.
I'm not invested in Apple, and I don't know why. It's one of those companies that, well, quite honestly, I'm not doing a whole lot of buying right now anyway, but it's one of those companies I just haven't pulled the trigger on. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I mean, a borderline, there's even people who consider it, well, I don't even want to say that, but there are people who really, really push me on it, the safety on it. It's like I have no issues with it. I don't know. I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but
It's I think when you see it's I mean now they're like close to 3 trillion. When you see a market cap that high, it's just hard to imagine.
I'm just
Like my best investment, they were trading at like 150 billion. No, like 100 billion market cap, 125 billion, and I 10x that.
nice. Yeah.
And that was my best. And then I got out of it. I sold out around the market crash in 2020, and I
Okay.
kind of revamped my investments. But and I bought back in at like when it was trading at like 1.4 trillion, I think 1.5 trillion. And I'm like, I
I
didn't
think
put that
I'm
much
gonna do
in
it.
because again, even when I invested in the first time, I'm like, it's so high the market cap, but it just keeps
Yeah.
going up. So
That's kind of my thinking is it's hard to imagine any more runway ahead with a market cap that large. Maybe that's my biggest issue. Again, that could also be a symptom of me learning this whole investment journey. But I'm going to probably go with what Richard in the comments says. I'm probably going to wait for a little bit more of a corrected price. But then again, I've waited for corrected prices before and just ended up losing opportunities. So I don't know,
right,
but I know that just not there yet exactly for me.
it's the hard part.
Sorry
But
about it. By the way, I had to do that for Matthew Plummer. Sorry about it. There, he's been begging. My bad.
so this is one way I sometimes think about investing is a company that can get acquired. Um, and I kick myself every time I got it right, but I think like there's probably like 100 companies I think this way, and if I invested in all of them, I would have lost money. But this was an acquisition. You know, when a company gets acquired, they get acquired by Intel last week. I didn't even hear about this company before they got acquired by Intel. And the stock usually goes up like 50% right away from the acquisition.
I have never heard of Tower.
Yeah. It was only a 2.5 billion market cap before last week. Then when they got acquired, it almost doubled. But yeah, Intel's looking to get more into the foundry business to compete with Taiwan Semiconductor.
Okay. Do you own Taiwan Semiconductor? Or what's your
No.
feelings on that, by the way? It's pumped like crazy in Canada, or a lot of people at least talk about it. but
I mean,
it's not one I own. But
it's the it's the biggest semiconductor company in the world. What's the tick? I mean, it's like I said, same thing with Nvidia. I have a hard time buying these. I'm thinking like they're so overvalued, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be $1 trillion company. But I went with Intel. I bought them recently, like a month ago, because I want to try to get exposure into semiconductors.
I have zero exposure in semiconductors at the moment, unfortunately,
because of all the demand. But it's
that's been doing virtually nothing for a little while. Yeah, see, that chart doesn't make me feel good at all. I don't know. There's probably a reason I'm not buying in right now, but without knowing anything about it, I'm probably not going to buy that at the moment.
See, if you miss the run up, the goal is to get in before the run up, right? You don't want to buy it up here. I'm not saying it can't go further, but you kind of missed. So it might be another decade before there could be a lot of sideways investing or even a drop and come back up.
Not to mention, with all the recent downgrades that we're seeing across borderline every single sector, it's obvious that growth in 2022 and 2023 is expected to be slow. And when I see a chart like that, man, it makes me think of one, that's what every chart looks like for what I call YouTube stocks. Not that Taiwan Semiconductor is, but charts like that don't make me feel like I'm ready to buy. That's for sure.
It's true. That's why I went with Intel. It hasn't been moving for many years. I mean,
really,
pretty much for almost 20 years, it's been flat since.
So my only issue then with that company is that if you consider the fact that it's flat, but then you're not taking into account inflation changes outside of the stock. So why'd you buy then Intel? Are you expecting a bigger push, or because even before that 20 years, they were flat before that too for a little while?
No, this chart doesn't. This is not. It's not going back that far, as it. I know. I question it sometimes too. I just see. I just think it's really undervalued. They have more revenue than any other semiconductor company, including Nvidia and Taiwan Semiconductor. They have the most revenue. They're not decreasing revenue. They're every year for 6 straight years they've beaten they had a new record. So this is their new record, $79 billion in 1 year. PE below 10.
Nice.
They just acquired Tower Semiconductor. I'm not saying acquisitions are the best thing in the world, but they are trying to expand into compete with Taiwan Semiconductor. But maybe that's a problem. Maybe Intel should just pick one lane. Either
Jack of all trades, master of none can always be an issue too.
Guys, would love to hear more thoughts. How to scale subscribers. It's slow and steady, but takes a long time. How to scale it. It's well, you're doing it right. The only thing you can do is to put out as many videos as possible. I think one a day is appropriate. Just have Kate on your channel and it'll grow. But
who's Kate, by the way? I've heard like 20 people mention this name.
She's just she has a finance channel, and she was 2 weeks ago, right? She was I missed it. Yeah. On the stream. She was good guest. I mean, I don't know, like maybe she's pretty. Maybe I think that's why they like her.
That helps.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Semiconductors, there's so much demand. I think they all should go up. So that's why I took Intel, because I think it has more upside. But I think they're all going to go up because of the demand. There's no way around it. But maybe I'm wrong. But the thing is, you just got to be right on one thing. Hopefully, I'm right on Facebook because I plan to hold that for a long time. But we'll see what happens. Is Kate married? I don't think so. I think she's kind of young. Early 20s, I would
Yeah, I
guess.
got a lot of people with a subtle Kate crush, I think.
Why don't you go to his channel? She does live streams.
Maybe I'll see what all the friggin' huss or the fuss is about. I haven't heard of this person, obviously, but I don't know. Your crew seems to love her.
She does what's it called? She just goes through the charts and talks about like what's the word? Like what she
Like
just
just
talks
TA?
about like what's that?
Like just basic TA or
Yeah. She just goes through the like talks about the candles and like the resistance points, and she draws lines. I mean, I'm sure people understand it, but I don't really get it too much.
I'm not really a big TA trader, so I'm not sure I vibe with it too much. But TA to me is just, I find that TA meant a lot more to me when I was day trading foolishly, if that makes any sense. Like, and now I don't find, I mean, outside of finding an incredible buy opportunity or my buy points or sell points, I don't use TA too much, just because my time horizon tends to be so wide that it doesn't really apply in most cases. Now, the chart that you're looking at with Intel, that being shelved for 20 years and then before that being shelved again, it's kind of interesting on that chart, I will say.
No, this is only goes to 2015.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, whatever it was. I can't see the dates on my end, buddy.
Well, I thought it was 20 years, but I hit max and it's not working in Yahoo
Okay.
Finance. But yeah. But then like no matter what, you could convince yourself of not invest in everything, and you can convince yourself to invest in everything if you want to. Like you can say the same thing with like Nvidia. Like look at this run up. What did it go up like 2,000% in like 2-3 years?
Oh, I think Nvidia was up almost 3,000% since Jim Cramer bought it. He's taken credit for that one, for gosh sakes. And then AMD 4,000. It's like there's a part of me that laughs every day that Jim Cramer opens his mouth, because there's a part, like if I've got $5,000 or $10,000, I would love to just open, like if let's just say I've got the money to spare, okay? But if I had the money to spare, I would love to just open up literally an inverse Jim Cramer position every time he opens his mouth, just to see. Because like, oh my gosh, now I would have missed out on NVIDIA and AMD, but I would have made a lot of other winners. But there's a part of me that wants to test that out at some point.
Well, he has to have an opinion on every stock because that's his job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. That's the thing. Like, it's okay to listen to people, but don't go off of what they say. Like, try to like.
And that's another thing that YouTuber, and I mean, you already know this, but like, YouTube is a resource to help the viewer and us. Like, it's a starting point. But for all those people who use YouTube as a buy and sell alert type of resource, it's like, you are the people who are bleeding out in the markets right now. Am I worried that many of them are here in the chat? No, they've already lost all their money, right? So it's like these stock tourists or whatever. It can be a serious problem, but people relying on YouTubers can be a bit of an issue, sometimes at least. Because it's just an opinion we're giving at the end of the day, and yeah, right. It's a starting point.
Exactly, and I even tell people, like, obviously, if I knew things where I can predict, if I was as good as like Warren Buffett, maybe I'd probably be doing something else. I don't know, but it's just it's just our opinions, and but I think you're more likely to Somebody said, "How does Hi Rye make money?" This is something I want to learn from Rye too. Also,
Okay, because my YouTube experience is way more unique than other people's. I did actually just answer him in the chat, but I'll reiterate it. So if anyone's actually curious, and if you're doubting me, go ahead and doubt me, okay? Because there's people on my live stream who know it's true. They've seen the numbers. They're working with me. People have been hired by me on it. With my 13,500 subscribers, I cleared in 2021 about $135,000 Canadian. So I was able to do that by sponsorships, memberships, affiliate links. I've got 12 income streams, and YouTube only pays me about $2,000 a month, even with the 1,000 views. Now, and keep in mind, Impossible Stock News is referencing the views on a live stream. Live stream views are about 10 times lower, obviously, than videos. But I would say that it's a combination of 12 different income streams. Like I said, YouTube pays me very little in the grand scheme of things. It's nice, but it doesn't really, I don't really care about what YouTube pays me, if that makes any sense. Like, if you want to make money on YouTube, the money to be made on YouTube is everything that you're talking about on YouTube. It's not YouTube itself, right? So that's at least for me. I know that me and Scott had a private chat about sponsorships. I'm not going to disclose the number, but Scott knows, for instance, what I charge for a sponsorship. And, a couple of those a month, you're at 120 grand a year right there, right? So it's little things like that add up. He's Canadian, so we know he isn't lying, Matthew says. That's funny. No, but seriously, guys, feel free to go check it out. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty on how I do it, just because people get angry at me when I make money. People get angry at me there's a million reasons, right? I attribute most of it to just jealousy. But literally, it's when people say, how do you make money on YouTube? I don't. Virtually no money is made from YouTube itself. It's everything outside of YouTube that brings me like the money, right? All day, every day. Good question. I don't usually get those questions on my channel.
I make almost nothing. I mean,
on what? Like YouTube ad revenue?
On everything. I make nothing. I mean,
I think it's just, dude. I think it's, well,
in a year and a half.
Sorry?
I made $14,000 and everything. 14,000 on everything.
Okay. Well, I mean,
year and a half. I don't know how you do it.
I'll tell you this. I think that, and I hate to say this, but I have a feeling that my past job history as a national sales trainer most definitely helps me in this scenario, right? I can talk very fluidly for the most time. I build relationships easy. The one thing about my channel is that
I guess that's it.
Almost everybody converts on my channel. So, like, based on what I made last year, each subscriber on my channel is worth about $9, which is a lot of damn money, right? So, like, that's, to me, it's about bringing up that $9, and that's all I focus on. But again, if people are trying to make money on YouTube, stop looking at what YouTube ad revenue pays you, because that's virtually nothing. I would say this because, without going into the numbers, Scott, just please don't disclose those numbers. But like, with respect to the sponsorships, I was trying to tell you, it's just a matter of telling them it's going to be different. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being offered well below 1,000, telling them I'm well above 2,000, and it was about 2 emails later that they agreed, right? And it's like, okay, so there's one negotiation done, and that sets the tone now for everything going forward. And once it kind of like inflation or raising prices, once you're there, you're not going back. So it's just a matter of continually inching up and up and up every single time. My YouTube journey is a little bit different than most people, because in Canada, I coined the whole Wealth Simple Trade Challenge. Everything exploded for me. But my only advice is don't focus on YouTube ad revenue. Just focus on the stuff you're talking about. And there's going to be about a bajillion ways for you to make money on YouTube. Anyway, without getting into the nitty gritty of the sponsor numbers, because I can't, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
and if anyone's wondering, I do, with only 13,500 subscribers, I do this full time now, because my other job paid me about 120 grand a year. And now if I'm making 130, 140 grand a year, what am I doing going back to work at that job? So this is full time. And if you guys are wondering, dead serious, like, just you will get paid a lot if you like doing what you're doing. It's obvious when you watch YouTubers who are doing it just for the money. Now, for me, I do this because I like doing it and I just happen to get paid a lot as a return. So I think people just gotta, and also too, comparing yourself to other YouTubers is potentially a dangerous trap too, because we all do different things.
I think our chat should have a YouTube channel. Yeah, but he's an anomaly. Like,
yeah, it's not always like this. Yeah,
don't make that much. Like I said, I make hardly anything. I can't. There's no way I could live on what I make on YouTube. I'm hoping one day it comes. I get more sponsors. It would be nice.
It'll come, dude. It'll come. This is the thing, though. I live in Canada, and there's really not too many financial YouTubers that are relevant and predominant, right? In America, the level of competition that you have in your space is like 500x mine, right? So I tend to get a little bit more opportunity here as well. Bigger fish in a small pond, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's really what it is. But yeah, I just, people really shouldn't compare YouTube channels, because everyone's got a different journey, a different a vibe to them. I mean, I know my vibe rubs people the wrong way sometimes. Other people love it, but it is what it is. It's different for everybody. Hi there, guys. TV is asking me a question. The $9 per subscriber rate includes everything, because that $9 rate was based on what I made in 2021 versus subscribers. So it includes everything. So that and the other 11 income streams I have as well.
I make about 50 cents
per sub. Yeah, so that's all right though, dude. Like, as long as you just keep inching that up. I know Estetino says this all the time, but just as long as you're 1% better every week or every month, then you're good to go, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping it happens, but if it doesn't, you know, I like doing it. That's why I do it. If I didn't like doing it, I definitely wouldn't do it, because I'm not. But in another year or two, I'll probably have to focus on something else if I'm not able to at least pay my bills.
Yeah, that's fair.
But but I knew that going in. I didn't sell my business to get a life on YouTube. I was getting stressed out and COVID, and I enjoyed this. So I was like, because I wouldn't have sold my business if I didn't have YouTube, because I never sold my business for so many years, because there was nothing for me to do. What was I going to do? Sell it and just sit at my house and just watch YouTube videos and watch TV all day? I mean, so I was like, it gave me something to do, but just keep what you're doing.
A few of the people in the comments, like CB said, Scott's videos are some of the best he's seen. I come to Scott's channel for a really specific reason. And like Richard's saying, videos of the bomb, Zohat's saying the same thing. Like, you teach me stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming to you for that. So yeah, you're no more nickel and dime crew. Michael, are you crazy? We're wearing nickel and dime crew merch right now. Nickel and dime crew. The thing is, Michael, it's just we never defined how many nickels and dimes. Okay, Mike? But yes, nickel and dime crew.
Yeah, no, and I'm not like, in a way I'm jealous, but I'm not like,
don't be. Well, I wouldn't be, dude, because
doing what I'm doing, because I do enjoy it. I like the live streams and stuff, and when I started the channel, it was hard for me to like motivate myself to do a video every day in the beginning, because I wasn't getting many subs or many comments. One guy was commenting all the time. I don't know if he's here right now, but I just convinced myself this is a great way for due diligence, because there's so many companies I didn't look at. And if I'm kind of forced to do a video in a sense, I have to kind of, if you try to teach somebody something, you learn it really well. You learn it so well. Even if you don't know it super well, but if you try to teach, like even a kid, like teaching them math or teaching them like how to do their homework, you learn it so well because you're constantly thinking about it in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will just say this in case anyone's curious, when they talk about like, oh my gosh, how the hell does he make that amount of money with 13,000 subs? My very first video, okay, was in 480p on a Chromebook laptop. There was no editing. My very first video got 130,000 views. So when we're talking about luck, a lot of it was messaging, a lot of it was timing, maybe just my personality. But look, when people post their very first video on YouTube and get 130,000 views, of course, that's a lot of, thank the lucky stars kind of thing. So again, comparing YouTubers and comparing channels and money and all that, everyone's got a different journey. So I just wanted to, just in case anyone's like demotivated or feeling stupid or whatever, like don't at all. I got totally lucky.
It's hard to compare yourself. And if you watch more of Rye's videos and channel, he has a special personality that you just can't, like, I could never like have his type of personality. I am who I am. He's very, he could talk a lot, and I just can't do it. And it does help. It helps in life. Fortunately, I understand financials, so at least people listen to me. But if I didn't understand financials and I was awkward as I am, I would get no viewers. So at least I have something going for me.
Well, look, man, your subscriber growth, you're growing at 10 times the rate I am, right? Like if we're talking about, I mean, just think about a growth curve. You're going to be, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be worried if I were you, dude, at all. Because
I mean, I'm fortunate, but that's why so don't think it's easy. I'm telling you, because I had another channel like 6 years ago, and I grew that to like 5,000 subs. I was getting a lot more views. It was a different channel, but you have to just work with what you have, and it's hard to do, and it's hard to keep moving forward, especially when you hit a roadblock. I know if you ever try to learn something like a sport and you kind of like plateau, and you plateau for months, it's hard to keep doing it, because it's like it's like futile, right? You feel like I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh well, it's life. It's the journey.
I feel the same way about PaySafe. That's a garbage stock.
PSFE.
Do you invest in SPACs, special purpose acquisition companies?
Nope, I avoid them with like a plague. I don't know enough about them to get into SPACs right now.
If you avoid SPACs, as a hard rule, you'll save money. And I'm not saying that because I lost some money on a SPAC. It's just what is it, like probably like over like 90% of them have lost money, and probably like half of them are like below $2, like lost like 80%.
Yeah, I mean, look, can you get any more speculative than a SPAC? And especially like in this market right now, I understand the point of them. Some of them are really interesting. No, my rule of thumb, I don't even touch it. I don't even talk about SPACs on my channel, just because and the problem is too, you mention one SPAC and it goes wrong and suddenly you're an idiot to thousands of people. And it's like, I don't know. For me, rule of thumb, I avoid it.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. And like I said, if you're really good at like analysis, like, which I want to get better at, getting deeper into, because I don't know if you guys, I've done videos on junior miners, companies that like small market cap, like 200 million below market cap. They're just looking for a property that has whatever copper or gold, whatever they're looking for, whatever commodity they're mining. So they don't actually produce anything. They're pre-revenue. And if you hit one of those, you can like easily 20x. But 98% of them never make anything. So if you can.
By the way, do you actively use this as a resource to judge what you're going to make? Because I find Social Blade to be intensely off. Like,
no, but the only reason I'm doing it, somebody made a comment, I'll be at 100,000 in 2 years, which I think is pretty accurate, because Social Blade has me at 100,000 in May 2023.
Nice.
But yeah, I like it because it's just fun to look at my rankings, and I like this part. But yeah, it's off with the revenue.
Even that. I mean, it says my channel should be growing at 20 times the speed. It's not. it says my revenue should be like 30 cents a day. It's obviously not. I find Social Blade a little bit tough, but you're right. I do like, I mean, it does give me a little bit of motivation seeing the projections and stuff, but it's all, who knows?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
26
surprised.
to 420. What kind of, that's why I have a hard time with Social Blade. It's a little
And
bit,
it's not even right. I
no,
mean,
it's not even close. Well, I don't know about your scenario, but
it's not. For such a wide range, you would think it would at least fall in that range. Mine's usually like 900 maybe.
mhm,
Some months I've broken 1,000.
nice.
But it sounds like, did Essatina help you a lot or something? Like,
They've never helped. No, I haven't got their services yet, or I'm not sure I will. Not that there's anything wrong with them or anything like that. I've been, when something's
you're
working,
doing
like,
well, so you don't.
yeah, like don't fix it if it's not broken, kind of thing. That's the only thing but I sometimes fear that I'm almost caught up in my own shit and I need to like expand and do this or that or whatever. But no, I haven't gotten any help yet.
Yeah. But the best way to learn is to do it yourself and
Yeah.
not, kind of like investing. Don't listen to just people. It's fine to listen to people. I rarely do it. I just can't stand some of the things people say, but try to learn, do it yourself, because if you
Yeah.
make mistakes, you'll learn a ton.
Totally.
As long as you don't, lose all your money. But yeah, sometimes you find out you do all this due diligence, all this work, and it would have been easier if you would have made more money in the S&P 500.
Yeah, I know. Truly.
I
That's
rarely
what
beat
index
that.
investors are popping up all over YouTube now, taking on some of the bigger guys. I'm not going to mention their name, but a few of you I'm sure have seen his videos. But it's and it's hard to argue with when you're seeing these massive companies, even the larger caps, fall 50, 60, 70%. And the boring old index investors just sailing away, hunky-dory loving life, but they're popping up like a weed on YouTube. Nothing wrong with it though either. I can't say that there's anything wrong at all.
I talk about like Andre Jick or who are the big ones?
Andre,
Um,
Meet Kevin,
Mika.
Graham.
There's
I don't like
Steph,
Graham as much.
Graham Stephan. Graham
I find him
Stephan
to
is.
be a little bit chilly. Like not on the information side. I just find he really milks the viewers for all they're worth. Like almost like once you see how the sausage is made, you don't want sausage, right? And it's like you can kind of see the tactics, and it's like, oh, that almost bugs me. But then there's Jeremy, there's like Chris Sane. I don't know. There's a million guys in the States, man. The competition in the States is out of control.
Yeah, it's a different investor. They're entertainers, like Kramer. There's nothing wrong with what they say, but you can just watch those videos and relax. Like mine, you can't really relax. Like you could,
Yeah.
I guess, but it's more kind of heavy. It's not
Well, it's because
very.
the reason though is, Scott, is because you're actually teaching people something. And the reason you can relax on a Graham Stephen video is because there's no actual content there. We're watching it out of just, I don't know. I mean, are we just addicted to the guy? Like it got to me to a point where it was so annoying. You can hear the same video repeated 800 times before you unsubscribe. But it was like, for me, I'm like, okay, I'm not learning anything here. This is effing stupid. Whereas your channel, I'll sit there. I have to watch it because every freaking 10 seconds, there's a new point. Look at this. Like your whole video provides information. Whereas you watch some of the bigger YouTubers and you can kind of get the gist of it with just their title. You know what I mean? And you can move on with it. But anyway, I'm not going to talk bad about YouTubers or anything like that, but
I wouldn't either.
yeah,
Although it's hard.
it is.
But when I say I don't like listen to people, even if someone is explaining something and they say things incorrectly, it's not like I'm like mad at them, but I just don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Unless there are a couple of YouTubers, unless there's like a specific thing I need to learn, I never get it from those bigger channels because they keep it really really high level.
Yeah.
But like I always talk about this one guy, Stockaholics. Like I didn't really understand um, the container ships and the oil tanker stocks, and that's all he does. That's all he talks about. So
You got a
yeah,
lot of people here throwing your support too. Keep up the great work, says Devin. That's very nice. And hi there,
yeah,
guys. TV. Yeah, Scott's a channel that, like, if Scott's channel went away, a lot of serious investors would notice it. Whereas some of the other ones, if they don't post for a month, you wouldn't. So that's how you can usually tell you've got a winner. And that's, I mean, I come here to learn, literally. That's why I mean, again, I'm not pretending to be some millionaire, this, that expert. I'm an amateur investor. And again, that's where I come to learn. Agave Bond is obsessed with Kate. I think Kate needs a protective order against Agave Bond here. Holy moly.
really.
Classic.
I didn't. But
No, I'm
Kate is the
joking.
best.
Just a joke.
Uh, he's a regular agave.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, not to. I was telling Ben, I don't know if he's here. I feel like what I talk about, it's kind of like the way you feel when you drive a car. Like, you don't feel like, what's going on? It's just like walking, kind of like I've done it so much. So I'm not to kind of like try to sound like I'm better or anything like that, but I just feel like I feel like kind of awkward sometimes. Like people like, how are you so smart? I'm like, can you walk? Like that's what I feel. It's like there's nothing special what I do, but I guess.
Well, it's just, I mean, oh, sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I was just reading some comments here.
Oh, okay. But yeah, but everybody, because I feel like I do the same thing every video. Because I always feel like I need to change it up, but I don't. I guess people like that, so I'll stick with it.
If that's your niche, man, yeah.
Of course, the numbers are different, but I have to check out.
Look at the obsession here with their love.
Has anybody seen Kate's channel?
I have no idea who this lady is, to be honest.
There's nothing wrong with, but it's a totally different thing what I do. So if you like what I do, it's probably not, unless you just like Kate.
I don't do technical. I don't put much faith in technical analysis, so I probably won't be watching her channel, to be honest, but I'll check it out. Oh my, this is her. Okay, I know who this is. Yeah, I'm not a fan of her channel. I'm sure she's a really nice lady. I don't get anything out of it though, unfortunately. But yeah, okay, cool. And apparently everyone loves her.
And she's nice, but
yeah, I have seen this channel. Okay, now I know.
This is different. She doesn't go through the. This is what she does. At least her live streams. But I should really learn this more because maybe it is good. I'm just not. I kind of dismiss it, like, I guess because I don't understand it that well. But I have a hard time understanding how you can predict stock movements.
The second your Fibonacci retracements are off, even by a small margin of 5%, your technical analysis is totally worthless. Technical analysis is perfect for day trading. I used to do it, but I've turned myself into someone who doesn't day trade. So I find it just not as applicable to my strategy and scenario anymore. But maybe I'm going to check out some more videos, see if it's changed and my tone's changed. But haven't seen a video from her in a while.
Yeah. But you should. I mean,
I'll check it out.
I want people to support other YouTubers as well as me.
Absolutely.
But I'm kind of across the board. I really don't like. I don't really like listening to people talk about finance. Warren Buffett's one of the few people I actually like listening to, but I don't really enjoy it. I don't mind. I like reading through 10Ks, things like that, but I don't really like listening to people unless I really need to learn something and I don't understand it that well.
Yeah.
And I spent many years going to like Investopedia YouTube channels, but once you understand it, but that's where we're going to get everybody to, right? That's the goal.
That's the journey.
Just understanding price action. I like your videos as they are, Scott. If you're talking about changing, keeping things simple. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I'm on J-Boy's. I'm agreeing with J-Boy here, but it's your channel too.
I just feel like I do the same thing. Sometimes I say the same exact thing over and over and over. So I always get concerned like people are gonna not like that. But
I agree, by the way, with Richard and Agav, which is exactly why I said that technical analysis is useful when you're trying to establish a buy or sell point with long term. But I am so I don't know how to say it. I just don't put much faith on it. But I completely agree with Agav and Richard from the chats as well.
See, look at this. It's such a value trap, this company. Lumen. I mean, look at this. I mean, granted, it's going down, but look at their operating income. Forget about the net income because they passed through lots of impairments. So look at that, and look at how much cash they generate. Why wouldn't everybody in the world just, what is it, like it's like a 5 PE? They generate, even on a bad year, $6.5 billion. They never lose money. They pay a 10% dividend, but this could be a good entry point, but I don't know.
I wrote it down. I'll be checking them out a little bit more. I know you're on it.
It was a lot. Look how much it came down, and they're not struggling. That it's just people are fixated on the future. That's why Tesla people bought it so much because they just focus on the future. Now they are a good company. They're making money. They're not losing money anymore. But people will pour money into stocks that lose billions and billions of dollars because of the idea of one day in the future, where companies like this, no one's buying it. Everybody's selling it. But it's interesting. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Someone's asking what stock this is, just to clarify for them.
Lumen Technologies. I mean, this is, it's almost 100 years they've been around. This is not a fly-by-night company at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I am working on my model more, because I've noticed that I want my model to try to be at least closer to the market. I want to try to get it a little on point, because even stocks that, like this stock, which should be, I think I even did it. I have to look at the numbers even closer. I gave it the highest whack. I try to be as conservative as possible, and I'm still coming out with stock price a lot higher. I mean, this is crazy. 38 and it's trading at 10. I want to try to adjust the model a little bit so it can be more, at least a little more in line with the market. But
can never be 100%.
Even know what I'm talking about, but Lumen Technologies. This is the largest telecom provider for enterprise companies. So they're not too focused on, it's not like an AT&T where you get their service. They're more for like corporations. that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan, I don't know your schedule, but I do appreciate you coming on.
Well, I'm good for whatever. How long do you usually do your live streams?
It's usually about 90 minutes. We're at 80.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to be up for another 3 or 4 hours, I imagine, buddy. So it's really, I mean, if you want to, I don't know if you have your own little thing you do at the very end or whatever, but I'm cool sticking around for another 10, 15. It's up to you, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got the sense that you had, I don't know why, other things to do.
Oh, no. No. There's one thing, man, is when YouTube is running and the cameras are on and my microphone is on, nothing else matters at that point. So no, we're ready to rock and roll, bud. Whatever you want to do. I actually had a question for you because I don't think I've ever heard it, or at least not on some of the ones that I've watched. But is your channel an anti-crypto channel? Not anti, but just not into crypto?
I guess you could say that. With the ironic thing is, my main picture is a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
On all my things, that picture. Invest with a Bitcoin. I actually was anti crypto for a while, but I'm actually now. I do think it's actually a good Bitcoin. At least I do think it's a good investment. Because I think it's staying. I felt it was kind of like the .com where it was just going to crash and burn and we would never see these companies ever again. But I never talked about it because I don't really know that much about it.
I'm a massive crypto skeptic. I should say I was, and without getting into the details, because I know YouTube's rules and all this and that, I don't want to get into it. You probably know what I'm talking about. But with what's been going on in Canada lately, it's really changed how I view my view of Bitcoin. And it's not that it represents a large portion of my portfolio, but I now can safely say that I'm confident DCAing slowly into it. And I don't worry about it. For me, at least, and if I lost all my money, I almost feel like it's a hedge. To me, it's a hedge worth playing. That's how I'm judging it. But again, I wanted to ask you because, again, I've always been a crypto skeptic. My community thinks that I'm kind of a numbnuts on it because they're so gangbusters on crypto. But my whole mind kind of shifted as of late on it. So I was just curious on your opinion. And when I say my mind shifted I say that with respect to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm thinking of buying it. Every time I'm like, it crashes, it just comes back up a lot higher. I'm like, I think.
Oh, great! Below 40,000. That's nice. Another day.
But
that's the hard thing with crypto is the price fluctuations, right? But while it tries to figure out what it actually is and its place in the world, I've got a few $1,000s in it, but if I'm going to mention that with respect to my overall portfolio, it's like a fart in the wind. Now, I'd like to bring it up, but I'm just starting to really embrace the idea of Bitcoin. So that's where I'm at least. Again, though, you guys know I'm big on holding my physical silver. I've got my gold miners. There's things I like as real hedges that I've been like holding, but just getting into Bitcoin.
I saw a couple weeks ago you had Charles Allen. You did another live stream with him.
Yeah, he's a really nice. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
extremely friendly. And they started offering the Binium, no dividend.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin dividend, the first dividend. So if Bitcoin keeps growing, his company will do really well.
Well, the problem with these crypto miners, though, is that they're all actually just a proxy for the Bitcoin price. And the thing is with BTCS is that they're very, with respect to their crypto holdings, almost none of it is Bitcoin. They're on the DeFi and Ethereum side, right? So, and he actually, in my interview, doesn't really believe in Bitcoin long term. Now, it's really sad, though, because his stock price is dictated by Bitcoin, which he doesn't believe in long term and has nothing to do with his model. So it's kind of funny how Bitcoin proxies, like, look at what happened to MicroStrategy. And honestly, the second and that company, I can't even get into it right now because it frustrates me beyond belief. But when you look at what happens to some of these companies, it doesn't matter what they're in. If they're in crypto, it's a Bitcoin proxy. And it bothers me a little bit because, again, Charles Allen has virtually almost nothing to do with Bitcoin. Like in his holdings, he's almost all DeFi. But again, none of that matters to the investor. And what it tells me is that there's too many retail investors because they don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
They do. Their balance sheet
has a little bit of Bitcoin, but it's really not focused on it.
Right. They own it, but their business model is not Bitcoin because they want to stake.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Proof of stake, and you can't do that with Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're almost entirely ETH based and DeFi based, and it's like nobody would know that. People would invest in this company thinking, "Oh, a Bitcoin dividend. They must be all Bitcoin." Yada yada. And it's sad because you're noticing a lot of these companies with really interesting ideas and paths forward getting dominated by the Bitcoin fluctuations. But anyway, that was a cool interview. Just funny when you learn more about these proxy companies and the damage that can be felt really when Bitcoin and retail traders, shake out. He was a really good guy, actually. I'm pretty sure he'd be. Well, have you had him on your channel?
You watched it.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Dude, I see so many stuff. I'm forgetting.
No, I know.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's very friendly. He taught me a lot about this stuff because I never really looked at it before.
And he's got a really interesting history in the space as well. He's got some stories that he can tell you on the back end. I don't know if he'll tell you on a live, but if you ask sorry?
Yeah, he told me his investment banking days. He was talking about that.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah, like if you look at, I mean, geez Louise, how much Bitcoin they have compared to ETH based, right?
Yeah.
And it's yeah. Oh, well, still a really cool idea. I love that they brought in the world's first dividend, or Bitcoin dividend, I guess, but very cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. We should start a company, guys, and take it public, and we'll start a fund.
Let's do it.
Probably need
Scott DTF.
We probably need a license, right? We probably have to get a license in order to do that, I imagine.
I heard Meet Kevin is starting a new fund, believe it or not.
Really?
After all the drama and trouble he's been through, yeah. He's apparently starting up a fund.
He probably has a lot of backing.
Well, he's got 2 million people who, at even a 5% conversion ratio, you're going to have quite a bit of people buying in it immediately. People can, the thing is with YouTubers, when you have more people watching Meet Kevin in a day than you do CNBC's market close live stream, that's what makes YouTubers scary entities, right? In that the information is, you really got to be smart about what you're watching to avoid being a dumb retail trader. It's basically it. And I started like a dumb retail trader. It sucks to say, but
we all do. I mean,
we all do. It's a fact.
And the funny thing is with investing, it's one of the few things you can do where the person who knows nothing can actually make, just by like investing in S&P 500. You can know nothing. Like you can't do that with many other things. Like you can't play baseball and start hitting home runs and be the best. But you could actually beat a majority of people when investing with knowing nothing. Just put it into S&P 500. You have to have no knowledge. And they probably beat me because I don't even know if I would beat it over time.
Well, I mean, remember that argument people used to use against Donald Trump the whole time? If he had put that $1 million loan he got into the S&P 500, he'd have more money than he does right now. So people should really keep that in mind. Index investing is boring. Watching an index investing channel is even more boring. But what's not boring is watching those returns consistently every single month. Obviously, let's discount a bear market. Let's discount market cycles, yada, yada. But Nothing. I've
Right.
opened my mind to index investing and index investing YouTubers because there's something to be said for what makes sense. Common sense is not very common anymore. And like investing in an index, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, man. Consistency is key to me.
That's half my money.
Mhm.
And when I started the channel, like I did my 1,000 portfolio reveal, and it was mostly index.
Nothing wrong with
And
it.
What's that?
No, I was going to say there's nothing wrong with it because your returns were probably one easier had than most people's, extremely consistent, and you were able to sleep at night. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to. I kept my money in my index funds, but whenever I got new money, I would invest it in individual stocks.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I will be able to like get a big winner one day by learning about something before it happens. But I'm still waiting. And the thing is, even if you could identify something, you might have to wait several years for that to happen. Like if you ever see a stock jump up a lot, like a lot of people can't wait years and years and years. But yeah, exactly what Michael said. We all want that big score.
Yeah, that's the risk of it, man. We all want that score. There's too many, and there's so many times on my channel too, like people, I'm gonna buy this stock so it can 10x, so it can 10x. It's like, oh my God, it's a trap. It's a trap. All I always think is the Star Trek character. It's a trap. Every time we talk about penny stocks, this is a 400x. It's like, oh my God, let's chill.
But the thing is, people rarely sell at the right point and buy at the right point. They generally sell way prematurely, or they buy at the wrong time. They buy it at close to the peak.
Yeah,
it's hard to. I mean, I'm not saying get the bottom and top. I don't think that's possible, but you can't jump into it after all the news is out and the stock is up 600%.
I honestly, this might sound stupid, but I really, really try to remember this every time I'm about to catch myself in a trap. Now, I think it was Joe Kennedy, but I could be totally wrong. But that quote from Joe Kennedy that when the shoe shine boy started giving him a stock tip, he realized it was time to bail. And every time I'm about to maybe catch myself in a trap where, you know, thinking about buying into a company that's running up, I try to think about that. And sometimes it costs me opportunities, but it's like peace of mind is worth way more than people think in investing. Way more. At least that's what for me at least.
It's true. It's true. That's a nice thing about index funds.
Yeah.
But even most of my portfolio, I wouldn't sell it for a long time. Obviously, something extreme happens, but which is pretty unlikely. So that's why I don't invest in these speculative things. I did a couple of times the past year and I lost them on all of them, but I'm like, I'm just going to stick with my strategy and not stress.
Yeah, it's the way to do it, man. You'll notice it's when you start second guessing yourself and not just, I'm not talking about you, but anyone, like it's that second guessing. It's that reevaluation of a strategy every 2 weeks when there's new news. It's like, that's what costs people money all the time. Set and forget, man. And that's why I'm going to start getting myself more into index investing, because the set and forget attitude, man, there's something to be said for it.
I mean, there are like when Netflix went down, like I saw that as an opportunity. So I sold on it. I sold, I think, was it Waiter? Just something I didn't even want to have anymore. But usually that doesn't happen. Usually, I think this is a really good company, Netflix, to go down almost 50% that quickly. I thought it was a good opportunity. I always let you guys know when I do that. I don't. Alibaba too. I thought it came down too low, so I jumped in. But Generally, I don't try to time things like that.
Yeah.
Like I hold things for a long time. I just wish I had more money for Facebook. I want to
You
get
and
more.
so many people in my channel, man, love Facebook.
Yeah, I think it's. I could be wrong. I'm so well because I bought it at the IPO and I made a lot with it. So I guess that always that experience. If that's the thing. If you make a lot of money with a stock, you get married to it, and if you lose a lot of money with a stock, you hate it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have to try to separate. But I think I did. I besides Google, there's more people that go to Facebook's platform than any other website in the world. So I think that's the big benefit. What types of index besides S&P 500? I have XLY. I just picked different. Is this the mid cap one? I think I have 3 or 4 indexes that these are the top holdings in that XLY. It was a while ago I bought it. I can't remember. Like I looked at it. I looked at different funds to invest in.
Do you typically keep your money in America or do you go international too?
Well, I invest in like Alibaba. I don't know if they consider that is American Chinese. Kind of ADR. But yeah, I invest in non-US stocks, but on the US exchange.
Yeah.
But not too often. I think there's more upside with US stocks than most countries.
Agreed.
I was a little hesitant about Alibaba. I held out for a long time and it just kept coming down. So I'm trying to think if there's any other non-US stocks I own. I don't think so. But there's definitely I have. I used to put into one of my accounts Vanguard Total World Net Index Fund, VTI.
Yeah.
To get exposure to other countries. But that's still mostly.
That was the one that I was thinking about. But I'm not buying. Again, I don't feel comfortable. I've been spending the last few months like actively building my cash position to a point where it's disgusting. And I don't feel like putting it in right now, if that makes any sense. I just feel like very slowly DCAing into the safety plays, but there's nothing that's jumping out at me right now and making me feel like I have to put money into the market. You know what I mean? Now, I know inflation's running wild too, so my cash is burning. So it's one of those things. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, but don't know.
That's good because you have money coming in, so it's I think it's a fine time to hold cash because it just seems like it keeps coming down. I generally don't hold cash, but
a lot of me too just wanted. Yeah, I'm.
But it's not a bad time to do it.
It's also kind of, I'm in a situation where I've never actually had this much actual cash, like lump sum in my life. So I'm kind of worried that I'm too focused on the preservation of wealth as opposed to just smart investing. But again, this is all things that everyone's situation is different. I'm trying to learn what's right for me, like on a daily basis. But I mean, who knows, right? Every day I learn something new. I'm going to learn my whole thing. I mean, all I know is that if I'm this confused on the market and the volatility swings, the last thing I want to do is put all my money into the market right now. So again, for me, it's just, again, a sit back, watch channels like yours, figure out what's going on, watch the news. And wait, because I've always felt that, like, if my gut, I trust my gut, you know what I mean?
Right.
And my gut's just not screaming buy. But someone said patience. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Patience.
Yeah, and if you guys feel confused and not sure, and I feel extremely confused all the time about things in the market. Of course, I need to have some conviction, but I'm always questioning every single investment. Like, so the more confused and the more you question, the better. Because if you're like some people who have such strong conviction, like, you're an idiot. Like, why would you say that? They just did this and that. They're so ignorant. You have to be really versatile. It's
Very.
just in case you guys were thinking that, because I know people feel confused a lot about like the direction of like a particular stock.
And everyone has to keep in, well, your channel obviously knows this. I sometimes have to reiterate to my channel because I find there's a few more newbies on my channel, but nobody has the answer. If me and Scott had the answer, we wouldn't be making YouTube videos. We'd be sipping Mai Tais in the middle of a beach somewhere and rocking and living our best lives, right? So it's all, the more I learn, the more I'm confused. I'm starting to realize it's just part of what it is to be an investor at this point. This is what I talk about now. So it's just, I literally cannot express how much I learn on every single day, but it's part of the journey. It is what, I don't even know what to say beyond that. It's just literally part of the journey for me.
Right. And yeah, if you could, I've been doing this for definitely over 20 years. So I've been building and building and building, and I've never doubled in a year. I've doubled on investments, but I've never like 10x'd in a year on my portfolio. I mean, I grew it, 10% one year, 20% other year. I lost money some years, so it's just a progression.
Yeah.
But I have faith, and same thing that we're gonna figure. We're gonna identify something before it's gonna happen. It's hard to do. Like the Tower Semiconductor situation, like that's what we need to figure out. Or like sometimes there's these bankruptcy clauses, and people don't understand them. Like, it's hard to like explain. I did a video on, I forget what company, and I'm like, oh, I if I could have looked for that feature, I could have identified they were going to go bankrupt and shorted them. But like these like really nuanced things, I'm pretty confident we're gonna figure those out. Hopefully soon. But until then, just keep building 10% a year, 12%, 15%. What?
Yeah. Totally.
Don't try to 10x the market. It's just,
well, look, I mean, for all of you guys, I'm pretty sure that 99% of you know Meet Kevin, and we know what happens when you try to time the market, right? Sometimes it doesn't always work out. And I love that guy as a YouTuber. I'm just saying, timing the market, yeah, it's, I'm not doing it anymore. I used to try and do it when I started the challenge, or my channel. I'm not doing that anymore at all. Kathy Wood is live right now with Elon Musk. I don't know about that. That's probably one of those Bitcoin scam things on YouTube that goes around 24/7. But I can't imagine she'd be live right now.
Not that I care that much. Like,
she's been hit pretty hard.
It's not like I gotta watch this. And nothing against anybody in the market, but there's nothing like I'm like, oh my god. Sometimes Warren Buffett, I like to catch some of his things. Crowd. I think that ship has sailed for me. Crowdsource.
Crowdsource was a YouTube pump, man. That was, sorry.
Yeah, I could see myself maybe getting it back into it, but at this point, I just see a lot of downside, but yeah, I was up like 60% on that thing. Like, I got it at like, that sucked. Yeah, I got it around here, and then was up, like maybe close to 50%, maybe it was, and then lost it all.
Yeah.
But
CrowdStrike. That was it. Yeah. Or that's what I was thinking. Sorry.
they got downgraded up here, and then it just fell apart. But what are you gonna do?
The story of all stocks since November, though, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Although Apple's not coming down. We just looked at that. Google's probably up too. I did get into Google recently, like a couple weeks ago. So I'm probably flat on it since getting into it.
I'm trying to really increase my dividend portfolio right now. And just...
You? Is that what you said?
Sorry? No, yeah, I'm trying to just really boost my... I know this has nothing to do with Google, but I'm trying to really boost my dividend portfolio. Google's one. They have a product called CDRs here in Canada, which pretty much makes all these big companies fractional without being fractional, if that makes any sense. I'd probably be buying the Canadian CDRs for Google soon, but it's just one of those things. There's nothing screaming my name at this point. I like certain REITs. I like financial, especially giving in. I like financial. I like some of the oil plays. Like the amount of money that I've made on oil since calling the bottom was one of my best picks. Again, though, I might be a little bit biased with respect to being Canadian and what really moves in Canada, but that's where I'm at. I've got a few of my faves. Oil and REIT.
I can't remember. There's always a Canadian stock I always talk about. Now I can't remember the name. Alimentation Couche-Tard.
Oh, yeah. A lot of my channel loves that stock.
The numbers look good for that company. Oil and gas. I mean, if you want dividends, especially now, oil's been doing really well. Do you have like? There's a lot of oil and gas Canadian stocks.
Yeah, there's a ton. I've got two. I had two. I only have one left. Both have done just beyond exceptional for me.
That's good.
I'm happy. Yeah.
But okay. Yeah, this was a good stream.
Definitely, Scott.
I appreciate it. You coming on. Suncor, yeah. I love Suncor.
That's literally the one that I own right now. Yeah.
The only reason I love it is because it gets so many views.
Suncor has been going through some issues lately, but I'm still going to be, at least for, I think I'm going to be selling out of Suncor soon, but I still hold it for now. I'm in so much profit that I'm just probably going to realize some gains on that one.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Yeah, check out Rye's channel. There's a link in the description.
Hey yo.
And I'm sure I'll see you around. And thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you next Saturday. And have a good night. See you, Rye.
Thanks, guys. See you guys. Wait. Are we still live? Hold on. Oh, we're still live. Okay. If someone has Scott's thing or info, let him know I am the captain now. If someone, I don't want to do, I can't take over Scott's channel or live stream. I'm going to hit the road anyway. If someone has a way to send him some blitz comments on his YouTube videos to let him know. I will say, though, if you're not subscribed to my channel, don't feel like you have to. It's obviously just we rock and roll. Thank you so much for everyone in the chat. You guys were amazing. You were very respectful. It's not always that way on YouTube, but you guys kept it cool and kosher. I know that's what we try to do on my channel. Again, Scott, thank you so much for bringing me on. I'm going to close this down and hopefully it ends the live stream. I don't know. It's the first time this has ever happened to me. Thanks, guys. You've been really great.